I don't know.
Dude.
Kind of doing what I figured 2022 was going to be another 2018. So
Same. My short sells are fucking printing.
It seems like it's almost every 4 years. It's a pretty consistent cycle, at least the last few.
The macro,
and then the next Bitcoin halving kind of always seems to kickstart it too, you know.
Yeah, the macro is pretty reliable.
The macro is terrible. Like I don't know. It looks to me like we could lose another 50% in value across the board from Bitcoin and Ethereum from here still. I got some orders.
I kind of picked 22 as my target for a low. Not that that's based on any significant TA or anything. That's just
that's funny. That's kind of like where my TA pins us at the next bear.
Yes, your gut's on point.
So yeah, that's dope. I'm really. Do you also mess with like what are they, like the money market protocols that let you borrow those assets and then collateralize them and all that, so you can short the market without using a broker?
I don't mess really with anything. I buy stuff that I think is still going to be around 10 years. And
I don't think that's very common, Max. I think it's common that people build their own options contracts through crypto.
Dude, I saw somebody in the Mad Meerkats chat was like, short selling is when you buy a bunch of tokens at once and then dump them like all at once as well. It's just like, oh god, like people just have no idea what anything is.
I think that's the average. Most people know how to buy and sell spot, sort of, and that's about it.
Yeah, I have been digging. There's the Gelato bot is actually pretty solid. You can like set limit orders on, you know, like Sushi Swap or Uniswap or other DEXs, which is pretty dope.
Actually, have you guys tried the limit order tool on NFT Hive? I have not tried that, but I like that it's a thing on Wax.
The one I saw on NFT Hive, the way I understand that works is you set the order and then people can see your order and decide to fill it. But if somebody lists something for sale, the order won't automatically trigger.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, that sucks.
I was a little disappointed because I was testing it out and I was like, okay, I put in my order. There's something cheaper than that. And it didn't automatically buy it. I think it might send a buy offer, but I'm not even positive about that.
Yeah, I feel like it defeats the purpose of you trying to be engaged in the market while you're not there. You know, that's the whole point.
Yeah, the Gelato bot will do that though, where like you just send it your assets and give it permission to do the trade, and then it'll execute with all the fees like tied into whatever the spot price was. So,
but it would do that for NFTs, or is this?
Oh no, that's just for like whatever you're trading on, like Uniswap or I did it on MMF. I did it on Sushi a minute ago.
I know there's a thing on Wax now called like Cellotron. And if you like send your NFT to that, it automatically undercuts the market. I've seen that a bunch on a bunch of collections. If you see Cellotron, it's like an auto listing service that will just, if anybody lists lower than it, it undercuts it constantly.
That makes actually
a good comic book villain, the Cellotron, that just undercuts the
market. Just furiously taking notes.
That's like made to order.
Yeah. The Cellotron thing is pretty cool, though. I like that it keeps like undercutting, so you don't have to. But it's also, you got to trust that they're not going to take your thing from you.
I feel like you should do Picklebot too. Like, just have Picklebot the villain.
Picklebot would be a great villain. Yeah.
There's two people using Cellotron on the same template. It's just going to be erased to zero.
Yeah, awesome. Pretty much. I feel like it's because you can't place like buy limit orders, so it's like it's effectively like a sell race to the bottom. And since there isn't like a liquidity pool or something you're going against, you have to have a real buyer on the other end. And like you said, if they're just racing to the bottom and the real buyer isn't like paying attention,
maybe it's not automated. Maybe you have to like choose to do it, and it'll undercut by 10%.
Tune said that's made by Shrimp, the Beast Card maker. It does not undercut though; it puts it the lowest price on the market. So.
Yeah, so what Require is saying, if two people are using it, so then like one person's the lowest price, then the next person's get lower, and then they just keep lowering.
He said it doesn't undercut.
It
matches the lowest price.
Oh, it'll just match the lowest. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the actual human estimate go down, and then it'll match it.
Okay. That's actually...
All right. No, that takes away the scenario of thoughts. That's a little better.
But, I mean, you can do that on both Atomic and FD just right in their native...
I think it does it automatically though. So like if somebody undercuts you match them without having to relist. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Seems dangerous. Also seems like a way that somebody can mess with you really well.
Yeah, right.
If you see somebody with Celotron, you could like, if you want a deal, just like put that same template super cheap, and then buy all the Celotron ones, and then like take yours off.
Depending on what you're trying to sell,
Yep.
I think you should never underestimate how sweaty some people can get when it comes to making money. We're gonna do what they gotta do.
I mean, Picklebot will do buy transactions that are in the same block as the broadcasted sell transaction, which is like, holy shit, that's sweaty as fuck. Like, that's remarkable.
And if the other scenario was true, I was going to try to find one just because that sounded fun. Like just making a race all the way to 0.
Just troll the bots.
Yeah.
That's a great question in the chat. Does Biotron exist?
I don't think so,
here's what Celotron Google Images gives me.
Oh boy.
This is the best that you can get so far.
That's pretty awesome.
So you're saying we're early.
I like how they have like the trench coat kind of thing, like the
selling fake Rolexes.
Yeah, like Resident Evil. Like, what are you buying?
I love that. Yeah. What are you selling?
I think that's actually the right one too, because that said it was from Wax. Like that link was Wax Labs
link.
No, they're real gold, I swear. No, the second hand isn't ticking, it's a Rolex.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. That's great. Still waiting for Rolex to like give you an NFT of like a certificate of authenticity with one of your purchases as an NFT or something like that.
Yeah, I have like a signed Alex Rodriguez baseball. It's hard to keep track of those certificate of authenticity.
Right?
Like, there's a certain human error there. Like I have this Alex Rodriguez baseball I've had for years and years, and like there's a little display case for it, and the certificate of authenticity just I've moved a million times over the years.
The Anderson Silva autograph, the authenticity stays behind the frame.
Oh, smart. Yeah,
that's a good place for it.
Yeah, I would like if you could have the physical and a digital copy. That would be great.
I would. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I feel like that's perfect for like luxury or collectible brands, like physical brands like that.
Yeah.
Is that your Top Shots in the background, Mars?
Yeah, that's from the Nine Live Down. Yeah, the 30 cool cats on the loop.
Well, so it's Warriors minus 6.5 tonight. If are your Mavs going to pull it off on the road, Game 6?
I have a feeling that Luka is going to Luka. I kind of do, but the game lives and dies by the 3-pointer. So it's like so scary, especially with the Mavericks.
Yeah, Game 5 they should have won, but they missed like crazy. They had a bunch of open looks. They were just missing constantly.
Yeah, and it's like. It's so conflicting. They have nobody who can play defense at all, and then just everybody stands around the 3-point line, and Luka drives, and then you hope when he passes it that they make it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's like the whole game.
Oh man,
nice. Are you
like
doing bets on the line again?
Like 100 dudes who can penetrate and cause.
Oh yeah, Mars is a Mavs fan. I just like the sports bets.
I'm actually a Knicks fan, but I've because of Luka and Dirk, I've like been a secondary Mavs fan since the Sonics.
That is a really dope shirt. I gotta say, I wonder if there's like a Sonics one like that.
There wasn't, or else I would have it.
Didn't you say you found some like
diehard Sonics fan? Diehard.
Mark, didn't you say you found some like Harmony sports betting thing recently?
Lance told me about it. Yeah, Lance told me there was this dangerous game to play because you can do lending protocols. So I could borrow on margin in sports bet, but I'm not that crazy.
I still call Kevin Durant a supersonic.
Oh man, yeah, a lot of people forget that. Honestly, that's what stings even more is like his whole history is being erased. Goddamn Starbucks, I hate you, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Hopefully they want to add Vegas enough that we get Seattle too.
Yeah, it's cool though. Like Sean Kemp's dispensary has this huge like Sonics mural outside of it. It's pretty sick.
I might have to go there just to go to Sean Kemp's dispensary. Those words are magic.
He just makes it rain in a different way now.
All right, should we talk about
anyway? So comic books, am I right, guys?
Graceful pivot
thank
into.
You. I'm the variety guy. Like I just try to add in some curveballs here to keep it fresh.
Oh man. Yeah. Hot damn.
Well, it's been a while since we talked to you guys.
Yeah, there's been a lot of updates
been
that I'm curious about.
So we've got our series 1, our issue 1 comic. We had only come out with 1 common and 1 rare and 1 legendary cover, and we had we now have variant covers coming out. And I don't know that we've talked about this publicly yet, but you guys actually put together variant covers for us.
We did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're really excited about that. Neon Space is one of our earliest partners, and we love the Neon Space versions of our collection that you guys did. So we're going to have a variant cover, all 3 variants, or all 3 rarities. So what you'll be able to do is take your current MetaForce issue 1 comics and blend them for variants. So there's a variant that we did, and then there's a variant that you guys did, and so you'll have a chance at getting each of one of those. And so then when it's all said and done, there'll be 9 total versions of our issue number 1, 3 commons, 3 rares, and 3 legendaries. And then all of our packs going forward will have variants as standard in the pack.
And do the variants still get you access to read them?
Yep, it'll be the same comic. It's just it'll have a different cover, but you'll still get in and open the comic and be able to flip through the pages and everything.
And if I blend from a rare, I'm guaranteed a rare of the variant or the new one, right? I'm not. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
But
so
that also means if I get a common, there's no chance I'm getting a rare out of it.
No. So it'll be kind of like a direct blend. Yes. You have if you blend a rare, you'll get another rare, but it'll be a chance on whether you get the neon one or you get the other one from our team. And so one of the rarities will be variant A is going to be 50% of covers. Variant B will be 30%, and variant C will be 20%.
Oh, dope.
So
like a additional rarity level. So you could have like a legendary and also variant like B, which would be like the rare as it gets.
Variant C, yeah.
Variant C. Oh, they're not okay. C. It was sorry, I think I misunderstood the
beauty.
So A will be 50%, B will be 30%, C will be 20%.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So we have like our legendaries. There's 100 legendaries, and then once all the blending and everything's done, the most rare book, there'll only be 20 copies of legendary variant C.
Oh shit!
And so you're blending from the existing really cool. issue 1s from when it was first released. So I'm taking my existing issue 1 and then like using a token and blending into a variant.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Exactly. So that'll burn the initially issued one. So it's not going to change our total amount of issues. So we have 100 legendaries now, and when this is all said and done, we'll have 100 legendaries still. It's just the variant A will reduce from 100 down to 50.
Okay.
Almost like throwing a new cover on your book.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually really dope.
Well, yes. So this token economy is new, right? Too, like the CMX token. We haven't talked to you since that either. So how do you?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
So,
let's go, Mr. Left.
He snuck right in there.
Hi guys. Sorry, I'm late.
No worries.
CMX is our token, and right now it's only an NFT token. In the future, it's going to we're going to have a token bridge that'll bridge it from non-fungible to fungible. You guys basically have the same thing with your neon token. But the difference with ours is, so our CMX comes in actual denominations, and you can blend in all of our metaverse locations. So we've got location in Taco and Train of the Century and let me see. We have streaming tickets, and
you guys have a shop in Immersive, don't you?
Yeah, and we have an immersive shop. So by interacting with those in whichever way is pertinent to that game, you get tickets. You can blend those tickets up to get CMX. CMX is short for our comics token. And so we sell all of our comics right now with the burn, with a blend to buy it. But we sell them the same amount of CMX and USD. So if it's a $25 pack, you can buy it for 25 US dollars, or you can buy it for 25 CMX. And that those denominations are made in 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, and 500. And then we have a yet unreleased collector's edition, which will be something different, but will be relevant to having the lower denominations. And then to get it to go up, you actually need a token press, which is how real coins are made. You take, a blank coin and you press it. So there's a 1 CMX token press and a 5 all the way up. And so they act as collectibles, but they also act as, essentially a currency. So right now you can take those and you go to Nifty Blocks to our crafting page, and then we have categories, so you can select the burn to buy category, and then you can buy MetaForce stuff there. Pretty much whatever we release, you can buy it there. And every time you buy something, the tokens are burned. And then when you upgrade, you have to burn a little bit of the token to get the token press. So upgrading into higher denominations, it burns too. So it's released at a rate of 500 a day for this year. And then a significant amount of it ends up getting burned because all of the mechanics are very deflationary. And then at the end of the year, we'll have a community vote for which comic characters should show up on the 2023s. And then the mint for the 2022s ends forever. And we'll have new sets for 2023.
We love ending stuff forever.
Yes.
Like retiring. It's retiring.
Metafusion, Series 1 pack openings. We love making stuff end forever. Being dramatic.
I like the look of the token itself. There's so many spinning tokens out there. I do like seeing a nice, well-designed spinning token.
Yeah.
It's a cool look.
That was designed by Mixplick/Nexus.
Oh, nice.
Who resides in the San Francisco Mint.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So each denomination has a different character on it. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we voted for who landed where, and I felt that it was appropriate that I landed on the nickel. Because I kind of look like Honest Ape a little bit. When I grow the beard, the mustache, I look identical to him.
I could see that. Yeah, you could go cosplay as a.
Yeah, I could.
I mean, you've done acting. You got do you have a top hat off screen that we can test this theory?
Well, I've actually played a zombie Abe Lincoln in a metal music video at one point.
I was gonna say you should have been in the Abe Lincoln versus
excellent
vampires.
Fun fact.
And then I think if you do look up shaving, I can't remember, Shaving Ham Lincoln or something like that. I did a shaving video where I shaved it down, and it really kind of exposed the Lincoln face. But
Shaving Ham Lincoln.
Shaver Ham Lincoln. That's what it was. I'll find it. I'll find it for you guys.
Of course you did.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
Hilarious.
So there's a whole bunch of ways that you can blend into the 1 CMX. Our promos, we release promos for stuff that's coming out, but then a lot of times you have more promos on the market than you really need. So you can burn our old promos to get the 1 CMX. You can burn our stream tickets. You can burn our whole bunch of stuff, and then you just blend your way up to the higher denominations. So for if we have let's say we have a comic that sells for whatever 50 CMX. You'll have to blend your way up to the 50 CMX token, not use 50 ones.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh.
Yeah, but it's super easy to start. I wanted to get a couple extra copies of Lore Stories, so I actually went out on the market, and you can either or join the streams. You get the free stream tickets, like Courier said. So there's easy ways to pick up and get yourself a token press and blend your way in.
Yeah, basically, for any different type of engagement in our community, there's going to be a way for you to earn tickets or CMX and work your way up.
I see. And this is the press. So you'd need this and 5 1 CMX to turn into a single 5 CMX. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Nice.
And then for the 10, you'd burn 2 5s.
Oh, okay. So you got to go up. You can't go 10 1s and the press. It's got to be
right. Yeah.
You move up all the denominations.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah.
Give me a hand. Yeah, and then you have to get the right rarity of the token press for the coin you're holding. So if you're doing the 5s, then you need the uncommon. If I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see. And then to get the token press, is there also a distribution version of that, or is it you blend into the token press?
You blend into the token presses. So the lowest token press, we couldn't make a way for you to blend into it because it's the bottom, it's the starting. So the common token press, we just have that as a drop, and then and it's like pretty cheap. Well, it was super cheap. Now it's comparatively, when we started out, we're like, oh, we'll make this like a fraction of a wax. We'll make it like whatever, something super cheap that doesn't even matter. Now it's almost a wax, unintentionally. But so yeah, you get those and then you blend your way up. And then the 5 CMX token you buy with 1 CMX, and then the 10 CMX, I think you buy with 2 CMX. And then let me see. Then we have the 50 that you buy with like a 5 or whatever. So it's always a little bit deflationary as you move your way up.
Oh, I see. Okay, I like that.
This is still pretty cheap. It's 10 cents, which is 0.85 wax. That's not a lot of wax to get in the game.
Yeah. And so and we give everything else away. Like the tickets are all given away. Everything you need to get this, there's no entry fee.
You can totally grind for all of it.
Yeah. And you guys know, if you just make if we made a free token press, it'd just go out and get botted, and then there'd be like this exorbitant amount of them sitting everywhere doing nothing. So 10 cents seemed to be enough that nobody was going to try and just get it to flip, but it's also not going to slow anybody down from, working their way up.
Yeah, it's not like a barrier for participating, really. 10 cents is kind of like, you can also, probably get a few CMX and sell them on, flip them and then have the money to get the press and then get the future ones. So still a way to grind. Still very reasonable to expect to be able to grind.
Yeah, and if CMX price drops, you can always buy some comics with CMX and have gotten them for less than drop price, and maybe you can turn that around somehow or whatever.
Yeah, someone was I think it was train tickets were selling them that they had gotten for way too cheap, so I scooped those up and started blending.
So it's kind of one of those situations that the people that are actual fans and read our stuff and are aware of the mechanics will have no problem taking advantage of the people who don't know what they're doing.
But it also benefits the people
to give away. So help me get some copies to give away.
Yeah.
It sounds like it also motivates if you don't know what you're doing and you do just want to sell, at least with the other side effect is it motivates buyers on the other side, who are paying attention. So then definitely. It even benefits you if you're not trying to participate, because there's buy pressure. So there's people will scoop up your stuff and it doesn't just sit idle. Like there's definitely, that's kind of an issue I feel like in a lot of like collectible NFTs where like, you know, series 1 of something, you could list it for like free and people still won't buy it because there's no reason to, and the collectors already have theirs. So creating kind of like that gamification of the collecting, I think I like that a lot. It really helps.
Yeah, that's the key with collectibles.
Motivate the aftermarket.
Keep everything relevant. I think that's a hard thing to achieve, but it's very important.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you got the Alien Worlds lore stories. I can blend into that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a full book. 14 pages, I believe.
Yeah. So that gives you all the background and the story for the people on the ship. And then our actual issue 1 will be launching in June. And that'll dive into
the Galaxy Jumper.
Yep.
Yes. It is looking beautiful, right, Lefty?
Oh, I'm so pleased with the way it's turned out.
Are you going to do the voice acting again for that one, like you did for issue 1?
We're gonna do some voice acting. Yeah. We have some people coming in to play some parts.
Yeah, we have actual. I mean, not that we didn't have some characters, but we have a lot. You know, all just characters. You know, none of us being ourselves this time. So.
Yeah, so we'll be doing more like voices with effects, probably.
Nice.
Yeah. I sent you guys in the private chat the Shaverham link, and it's about at second 38 is when I start to really look like Abe there. So if you want to check out. By the way, I've been loving the rando videos you guys have been showing on your streams and stuff. You guys have been showing some hot stuff, man.
Really buying the dip is really it's an earworm.
Oh man, it really is an earworm.
Coming out, you old rat!
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like the old school.
Like the American flag that I put up. Oh yeah, it's old footage. You know, it's like it's from like 1800s.
And this is the context of a zombie movie.
No. That was a music video that I play like a dead.
That's where you reprised the role.
Abraham Lincoln video I made one random day. See, you see it? It's starting to pop in there.
Okay, yeah. I'm starting to see the chin strap going.
There. Look, there he is.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
All right, that's all it was, really. You know,
dude.
And you can start to see it in the hairline and everything. Yeah, right there. Could be Abe right there.
I have a new appreciation of the 5 CMX token now with the MetaForce Lincoln on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to hold on to one of those, you know, because after this year, they're gone. You know, that's it.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Lefterham Lincoln.
Lefterham.
Do you guys have in issue 2 for the main MetaForce comic? Is there a timeline for that one?
That's going to be July.
July. Oh shit! That's coming soon.
Yeah, so that's in production. All storyboards and stuff is done. Some of the pages are inked. We're doing some coloring now. It's one of the things that we realized doing the first comic is like, holy shit, making a comic book's a lot of work. Like,
there's a lot of hands that got to touch it, to get to the finished product. Yeah.
The way we do it, especially with Left's work, it's like however many frames or cells are on that page is each one's an NFT. You know, on its own. Just
so like if a page has like 7 different frames, it's just like, oh god, I have to like make 7 different NFTs in a weird way, and then turn that into one, the whole page, right? Like it's nutty. And sometimes, thank God this time, for whatever reason, the computer's been so kind and so sweet. But like on the first book, MetaForce, it was like I couldn't gauge like how long something would take me. It'd be like, it might take me an hour, it might take me a day, just because I was like running into issues with my computer. But this time it's just been a treat.
Oh, nice. Yeah, getting better, more efficient.
Much more efficient. That's the big key to it all, actually.
Yeah. I'd say lots of lessons learned on the art side all the way around. So things are much smoother.
Yeah, I mean, with everything, we've got some new tricks now with our digital binding and how we're sending stuff out, and there's a lot that's that's going on. So we definitely had sort of a pause there where we reassessed how we were doing a bunch of things and wanted to have some upgrades to how we're doing stuff. So we're going to make it feel even more and more like a real comic book. So
have you guys ever how do you feel about physical redeemables?
So good.
Would be dope.
Yeah. So we've definitely talked about having that done. We planned all along to have physical comic books. The issue with physical comic books is like you've got to make a certain run. You've got to be able to print.
Oh, you kind of had to hit some minimums.
Right. You've got to print many thousands of them to make it worth printing them, because nobody's going to put together a print and just roll off one at a time.
Yeah, it's kind of like the sorry to cut you off, like the old days of music too. It's like before the internet, you're like, I have to make all these actual CDs and get them places and do all this stuff, and I don't know if anyone's gonna buy them in this location. So like, a lot of different things there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have a partner who we can work with when that's ready to happen. It's just a matter of, we have to get to a point where we can justify spending a really significant amount of money to get them into print. And nobody's going to want to buy them at like hundreds of dollars a piece. They're going to want to buy them for a couple bucks each. So.
Yeah, and it's kind of counterintuitive because like the NFT space is all about scarcity, but for the efficiency of the money, you got to print a bunch. So it's like, how do you find that balance?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen some places do like hardcovers where you do like I don't know the background of how to source these things, but like they'll do like a short amount of like hardcover, so you keep the scarcity, you have the physical redeemable, but it's easier to kind of just like put those together in small batches. But
yeah, it's something that's for sure going to happen, just a matter of when. And then also our tokens, we are probably going to be able to print or to produce physical CMX tokens.
Oh, that's sweet. So I could have like a real coin. Oh man, that'd be awesome.
I gotta learn how to twirl it through my fingers when I make big decisions.
Yeah.
You're just adding to the intensity. You got the mask, and then you can idly.
I always think about I'm gonna try to practice that, and then when I actually get a big token like coin in my hands, like I give up very quickly. It's a lot harder than it looks.
It is.
There's the reason I don't play guitar. Same reason I can't fiddle coins through my fingers.
Yeah, I can do a pen, but that's about it. That's where it all ends. It all falls apart.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard from like a friend who's a magician. He's like, oh, it's about the coin. It's got to be like a certain size and weight, and it makes it real easy. But I tried the coin he did it with, and it's not like he just knows how to do it, so he thinks it's easy. It's not easy.
One of those people. All right. I was gonna say, because there are the trick coins. I had a coin that you could bite in half, but it was really just like laser cut with like a rubber band in a groove around the outside. So you like fold it down in your mouth and then go
look like
and pop back up again. It works so good. It was such a piece of shit trick, and it got everybody.
Oh man, that actually sounds like I could probably manage that. But I feel like there's still like a dexterity element missing.
I had like one of those retainer rubber bands in a groove around the outer edge, like holding the multi pieces together, so you could like make good stuff.
Oh man,
the
illusion
of
shattered.
What are we talking about? I'm so random.
for the Alien Worlds thing, did you guys get, or the Alien Worlds lore stories? Did you guys get input from them at all? Like, as far as did they have any sort of characters that they wanted to elevate, or did they just like, hey, use the brand and then just kind of spitball and then make sure it doesn't suck?
Yeah, they pretty much set us loose. So like
the Aliens Worlds team so ominous to me. Like I don't really know who they are or like how to talk to them.
So there's
a super deep dive on anything public that they had for lore and their missions video releases, and just did a lot of work learning their world.
Yeah, there's definitely some meetings that needed to be had in the background, and some details that we had to work out. But we've got that all worked out. We're actually the first and only formal official partner of the parent company when it comes to NFTs being distributed with their IP. And,
wow.
And
congrats, that's awesome.
So we're as far as our creating, they were very on board with us coming up with our own whole thing, and it's I don't know, it's a reference to Alien Worlds or a companion piece for Alien Worlds or something that builds the lore. And definitely we took, as Mara said, our characters are based on attributes and stuff. Their Nordics are very tall, very big, and they have, the little green people are little. If we actually have, you can see it in the lore stories. We could bring one up so you can look at it. But we give like the specs of all the people and their backstories and everything like that.
Yeah, so if you go through the avatars, that Alien Worlds has out there, they're mostly just generic beings. There's a couple actual like specific people, but it's mostly a female this race, male this race. So it was a framework to create within, which was really cool.
So it's like rooted, and then you kind of extrapolated from there.
Yeah, and
there's
then
some Keanu Reeves looking character, which I remember now.
Yeah. So we didn't use any of the actual characters, so they're all just we invented characters out of the races. So we didn't use him and the captain, I forget his name.
The one that looked like
Captain Kirk, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, it was Captain something.
Yeah.
It was Kirk, though.
It is interesting. It can be a little symbiotic too. If you guys are kind of fleshing out this lore that Alien Worlds really didn't put much time and effort into because they just chose not to, or for whatever reason, then now you can kind of create this base layer, and then they can kind of play off of what you've given them, and vice versa. And then so long term, you guys can kind of lift both at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely works that way. I'd say, definitely, read the lore stories for sure. And if you want to experience a different layer, or, people who are Alien Worlds fans, if you watch a lot of the, the videos that they have out with the lore, like I said, when the mission's released, there's a 5 or 6 minute video with some storylines and context in there. And when it got to writing the actual backstories for these characters, I tried to weave as much of that in there, without, so it seems like all of this exists in the same world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's like reference to the planets. Yeah, I mean, it's you'll feel like you're in that world for sure, in Alien Worlds for sure. When you're
but I would say it's definitely an expansion of the world. Everything we have is new and not specific to them, at least as far as the characters and the plot lines and all of that. It's all original material.
Yeah.
And so it feels like you're using Alien Worlds as a springboard and then launching in and expanding the Alien Worlds metaverse, universe, whatever you want to call it, greater detail and thought and all that stuff. So it was fun, a lot. I think for me, part of the biggest fun for all of it is like the world building, where you're starting with not nothing, but kind of nothing, and you're creating, the big scope, the big idea, and stuff like that. And that's a lot of fun for me. Mars and Left House excel far more at getting into like fleshing that out and building the actual stories and details of the characters and everything. That's
is there
I made the
crossover?
unfortunate mistake of naming the captain Terra, Terra. That's just bad timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together. Jesus.
So as far as crossover, the idea is that, everything that exists in MetaForce Comics is, in theory, could coexist with everything else that exists in MetaForce Comics. So there may be some situation where timelines warp or whatever. MetaForce, as we have it written, is kind of more of nowadays timeline, whereas the Alien Worlds, their lore takes people from Earth and then puts them through this wormhole. So who knows? Maybe there's something there. We'll just have to wait and see how it all works out.
Maybe the MetaForce guys will like time travel into the future and be in the Alien Worlds world at some point.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe one of the MetaForce guys is Tara's like great grandfather.
Yeah, you always have the multiverse parallel universe out. Gives Mars Utah some flexibility there.
Yeah.
Try not to get too cheesy with it.
That's like the emergency button. All right.
I recently, because I actually do study this stuff so that I don't write just dumb stories. Time machines, the theory is now prevailing that once they're invented, you won't be able to go back. You can only go forward and then back to that time, but not before they were invented.
Oh, interesting. So the point at which you have the technology, you can't go before the time machine itself existed.
Yeah, that's the new quantum world is saying. Yeah.
Damn, who studies that? Like, what was the source? Like,
I just listen to people say stuff that smart people did.
Did the ancient alien guys do that?
I appear to be smart because I retain knowledge.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen, is like a Google mask. He can see all information in that mask right now.
Yeah, that's the next iteration of Google glasses.
Well, that just makes me think of my approach to time travel is now debunked here. So I got to rethink my whole approach.
That just makes me think of
I wanted to fight Russell
It makes me
Crowe.
think of the man on the street, Eric Andre, where he's like from Google and he's just like walking around. He's like, Google, show me this guy's underpants, and like just walks into some random dude and just like messing with people.
That is fantastic.
I could see you doing that, Mars. Just like
that would be fun. Yeah, we need to get some skits going or something. There's so much to do. I have a pressing question for you Seattle guys, though. Mm-hmm. Which jersey?
Oh, I like the on the left. I like the black and red.
Yeah, I mean the I guess you're right. The ones with the red on it, that's what I grew up with. The other one is more like like probably when I was a lot younger, but when I was old enough to like follow the Sonics a lot, it was the dark.
That's the one when Jordan took him out in the finals right there.
Yeah, that one was pretty brutal. Well, the Bulls were playing pretty well, but that was a tough one. I think they only won one. I think they won it like in the 70s. That was like that one
78
was the most recent one. Although we got a Seahawks Super Bowl, that one hurt real bad until the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and then it was took some of the edge off.
I'm a big Jack Sikma fan.
So I just picked up some couple token presses. We got 3 token presses, and then 3 of all the 5 stickers you need to blend into CMX. So I figured we could do some giveaways. Whoever wins will just get the whole package, whatever you need to blend into CMX, so you can experience. I was gonna blend, but I was like, it's more fun if the person who wins gets the blend. So,
and if you guys do like a grubfish or anything like that, where you collect wallets, typically what we do is everybody that participates in a stream that we're on will get one of our stream tickets. So I can send you over a bunch of stream tickets, and anybody that participates in a grubfish or anything, you guys can send that out right to them.
Oh,
sure.
That's sweet, yeah.
Yeah, we do marbles, but we have like a forum with everybody's name on it, and we can see like who's in the races. I'll just screenshot them.
Yeah, awesome.
Is it one sticker to one CMX, or is there like what's the ratio there?
So
you
it's
need one of each of the stickers, like each character. So it's the 5 stickers, but you need one of each, and then also the token press.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you need like the full. Okay.
So you need the full set of the 5 champions, the full set of the citizens, the altars, and then a token press.
Okay.
This will be the blend that you'll be available to do if you win this race. But then there's also, I'll show the ones that he was saying. There's the altar and a couple other ones.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different ones. Basically,
Fed the five villains from MetaForce can be blended together.
If you
okay, I see this now with the blend templates. Okay.
Yeah, if you look on the blends, the whatever stickers are there standing behind the coin, that's what you're going to need to blend it. And then if you look at the ticket ones, that'll tell you what ticket you need, and you need 5 of the tickets. So in general, everything's like 5 to 1.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to do our marble intro. It gets kind of loud, so if you have sensitive ears, I always say turn down your volume. If you like to rock and roll, maybe turn it up. It's up to you. Here we go.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And exclamation play is the command in the chat if you'd like to join the giveaway.
Man, Michael Buffer's doing marbles now? Damn.
We haven't gotten the cease and desist yet, so we tried to get a cameo from him, but it's really expensive. It's like $5,000 or something to get like a business cameo from Bruce Buffer.
It's funny you just said that. I was just cleaning out some old files and stuff on my computer last night, and I found the cameo from Randy Couture congratulating Left House on his 100th episode.
Really?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Which I didn't know was a cameo at first. I thought it was just like I thought you were his buddy and you got him to do that. I was like, fucking A. I was like so blown away. And then when I found out it was a cameo, I was a little bit sad, and I was like, "Oh man, he paid for that? That sucks."
It was less than you would think for Randy Couture.
Okay, good. Thanks,
Randy.
Yeah,
Randy.
really depends.
Thank you for that. That was amazing.
Randy's a reasonable guy.
Yeah, the Island Boys charge a lot more than you would think. It's a little unfortunate.
That's all they have going on. You can tell, like, if that's all they have going on, or if it's just something they're doing, like Randy.
Yeah, I hope
if you give it like 6 months, for probably half the price.
Yeah.
Wonder how much the bootleg Third Island Boy is. I bet he's cheaper.
There's a fourth one.
Yeah,
now.
poor
There's
kid.
a fourth one.
Yeah, were they like Jonas Brothers? What's the deal?
They're like abducting him and making him have the same hair. The one,
Yeah,
kid,
they all have the same hair.
yeah, it's like
there's a new one. He's worse than the other ones.
They're all blank faced and scared.
Oh man.
In the hot tub.
It's a funny
There's a
rabbit
bunch of
hole to
dudes in hot
see
tub.
who all is on Cameo. There's a lot more people than I expect. But yeah, I've been meaning to do that for a while to get us a Neon Space cameo, but there's only so much in our price range here.
Get Bruce Buffer. He'll probably just do it for some marching powder. Actually, it's probably more than the cash.
Bruce Buffer is
he's the UFC guy.
$4,750 for a business. Although for a personal one, it's like $375. So it's a lot cheaper for like individual folks. But if you do it for business, it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
How do they know
what it's for?
though?
It's probably subjective. Like if you're saying someone's name versus the name of a business, if I told them Neon Space, like, yeah, my buddy Neon, last name Space.
Yeah.
Last name Space.
I don't know. They might do. Yeah, it depends on the context. Like the one with Randy was just like congratulations, where if it's like a full shill job, they probably would cut you off.
Yeah. Oh, you can get Brett Favre. What?
Favre?
Yeah, $10,000 for a business. No, sorry, bud.
Wow.
Dude,
I should put this 1997.
I should put myself up there for like $2.
Although White Claw Gabe is very approachable. I really could go with a White Claw Gabe.
He cranks those out. He does a ton of those. Congrats to Geeko Riki for winning the promo and token press set, so you can do your own blend and start your CMX journey.
Nice driving on that one. We were locked in on the ball when it got launched. That was dope.
Yeah, someone got yeeted.
Is Tom Hanks on here? No way. Tom Hanks is doing cameos.
No way.
For that.
He just holds up the volleyball and talks.
Yeah, you could probably get a Wilson cameo.
It would be awesome if it was a fake Tom Hanks. You know, he looked a lot like him, but just wasn't.
There's a Tom Cruise impersonator that does that does cameos.
Maybe it's someone who can just do the impression really well, and then they just deep fake the face over it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do for Tom Cruise.
Oh, do they? They're already ahead of me, dude.
Yeah, there's a guy who got kind of like 15 minutes for that. He did like a crazy deep fake Tom Cruise that you couldn't tell the difference. He was an impersonator and then used some tech too.
Yeah,
it was creepy.
Yeah, it's crazy how far that stuff can go now.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
Yeah,
that's why I wear the mask.
Yeah, that's a good move. Although, if someone recreates the mask,
you never know.
Yeah.
It's like V for Vendetta when just like everybody wears them.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I love that.
Oh man, I bet Chet Hanks is on there. Chet Hanks is a real character. If you're not,
is that the rapper son?
It's Tom Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks' son. That's a rapper. Yeah, and he like got into a weird reggae phase that was kind of really awkward.
He's gonna be the next Island Boy.
There have been streams where people thought it was Mars, but it was me in the mask. Very much like Kaufman and Tony Clifton style. You know.
You never know.
Oh, nice.
You never know who's in the mask. It could be Rico some days. You never know.
I think my head's too fat.
You could have like have Left House wear the mask and then just have him interview you without the mask on, but don't like you be a different character. And since no one's seen your face yet, like
I've been on the news before with voice changing software.
Oh,
wait, you had the mask and a voice modulator?
I just said that.
Oh man, I'm gonna YouTube it now.
You got several thousand, I don't know, to go through.
It's worth the dig though, just to get a clip of it.
My favorite guess, I think, was randomly someone in the chat, which, like, not that he's super famous, but Danny Carey, who's the drummer for Tool, but who has, like, so much blonde, long hair that you could never fit it inside a mask ever. But, like, for some reason, this person was convinced that I was him. It was just very odd. That was, like, one that stuck with me.
That sounds pretty good. It's also, like, when they take the mask off and all the hair just flows out.
It's such an oddly specific and wrong choice. I was very amused by it.
Oh yeah,
look at this one, a little Plinko with windmills,
right
out on the farm.
Yep, smell a little manure.
Manure. Oh man,
I don't know what accent that was, but
some loose YouTube searching. I'm not finding you on the news. So I don't know.
You gave up pretty quick on that. Nice.
Shine on the wood is really nice.
I just deep fake myself with that Tom Hanks software all the
time. Yeah, have you seen that there's an artist, like a street artist named Hanksy, like Banksy, but Hanksy, and he just does like
no way.
He does like Banksy's, but replaces the faces with Tom Hanks's face.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I was hoping you were gonna say they're all scenes from Forrest Gump.
Oh, I mean that would be great too, but no, it's just like a bunch of Tom Hanks like street art. It's
just Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks street art.
Yeah, I'm sure that like, Forrest Gump makes a few appearances, but it's always signed Hanksy.
I'm going out after this to tag him sitting on the bench. The candies.
Nice.
Gotta get my stencil ready.
Ooh.
You guys, I'm gonna have to jump out. I gotta go start my own show here. I gotta go do the NFT.
No worries. All right, well then we can just raid into it later.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
But yeah, nice chatting with you guys. I got to set up a couple things here.
All right, have fun, brother.
Everybody, thank you.
Talk to you soon.
All right, bye bye.
So does Left House does the drawing, or does he just does the colorizing and the animating, and then you do the lore writing, or how does that work?
So he pretty much just animates once the common version is done. So I write most of the script on Galaxy Jumper. He's helped me with some of the dialogue. And then I storyboard the issue and then work with the artist on getting through that. And then once those pages come back, I do the lettering and the bubbling and all that stuff. And then that ships off to Left House. And that's when he starts creating the rare and the legendary. And he does all the audio work and all that stuff.
Okay, I see. So you kind of like write the base and then connect with the artist. The artist kind of takes that vision, gives you the actual drawings, and then you can kind of play off of the drawings from there.
Yeah, we work really closely through the pages. So, I'll send some not so great thumbnails, just of the page sketched up and what's happening in the script over to the artist. And then he sends me back the sketch before we go to ink, to make sure that the words are going to fit and all that stuff. And then I do all the word bubbles and typesetting and all that stuff. But for MetaForce 2, the artist on that is going to be doing the typesetting and the bubble work.
And then Recorder does
take a crack at doing colors on MetaForce too. So
there's
done before, but not on a whole book.
There's a whole lot of people that are involved. I'm kind of at the beginning and the ending of the process in that.
Are you doing the minting?
Yeah, so I do all the stuff on chain.
Thank God for Rico. He does the stuff that's not fun for me.
Yeah, the blockchain stuff there's a lot under the hood too. When you're putting together all the pools for the packs and all the events.
You just saw CMX, So
and then
most of the credit goes to Rico on that,
So like in the beginning, when we're talking about like what are we gonna do? What's gonna be the big idea? How are we gonna develop it? Martha and I did a lot of talking with MetaForce and kicking ideas around the world building. And then I was involved a little bit early on in the world building with Galaxy Jumper 2 as well. And then definitely Mars does a lot of fleshing it out. We have different artists we work with, as he said, and it goes through Mars and through our artists and through Left House. But then there's a whole team, once we get that together, there's a whole team that works after that, because we have to do all of the binding, which is, putting it all together, making it a book. There's a lot of technology that goes into making it an e-reader style flip book. And then there's some other people that are involved with making sure that works right on multiple size devices. So it's got to look right on web. It's got to look right on an iPhone. It's got to look right on an Android. So there's a whole bunch of testing that goes on with that and different people involved with that. And then there's integration to our website. So, every comic's going to have probably at least 10 people working on it, all said and done.
Oh, wow.
So
it's a lot. There's a lot more than it sees than you see at face value, I think. For a lot of this.
Yeah, especially with the NFT process of it and just everything that comes in, with a traditional comic, basically once I'm done with the typesetting, you'd go to print and you'd be done.
Yeah.
Now it still goes to Left House. He makes 2 versions and does audio and everything else, and then we have the binding, which obviously that would happen, at the printing press, but we have to do that too. And then all the minting and everything.
And we do a lot of other things with our comics as well. It's like, it's the comic, but we also have the open pack, and we've got a whole set of smart contracts and stuff that are written so that when you open your pack, you get the same mint number as the pack number that you opened. So like if you decide to open pack number 3, you're going to get open pack version number 3. And then we have all of the blendings. So, some people can keep the open packs, or some people can use those to blend badges, like collector's badges. So like our series comics, there is, like you say, here's the comic, but into that comic actually goes all of the work for the comic, and then a whole bunch of NFTs, not only the pack and the open pack, the badges, There's tons of blending. There's tons of pack opening. It's a huge undertaking.
The videos, the music, all those things that are also our signatures. And
the on-chain stuff's important to do as well, like to make sure all your attributes are nice and clean and planned ahead. Because if you're going to build all these mechanisms off of collecting, you need all your attributes to be designed in a way that's consistent across the board. And you can see a lot of like artists or just generally projects that struggle with that are new to the blockchain piece, that like, once you mint the template, you either got to do a new one or you're stuck with it. And then if you're pulling data from attributes that are now inconsistently applied, that creates all kinds of headaches. So it's certainly not easy. You can see all kinds of dead templates on Atomic Hub if you turn on the show templates with no assets.
Even on big collections. Like I was looking at Blockchain Brawlers last night, and they messed up all their newest blends, or their newest swag kit. There's like 5 versions of the legendary brawler that they just didn't use because they put it of a max 6 mint, and then they decided to go mint on demand so there could be more than 6 of them. So they had to remake all the templates to not have a max mint. But also, this is the last call to exclamation point play. This is going to be the one I use to screenshot to give out the stream tickets. So everybody's going to want to get in there before I start.
Nice.
And then the winner will still get the 5 stickers and the press.
Seeing the big collections making those same blockchain mistakes makes me feel a little bit better about having made those same mistakes in our collection.
I was gonna say my first collection, Red Planet Art, which was very I don't know, probably coming up on like almost 2 years old, or maybe then 2 years old. No, that can't
older
be
than
right.
NFT years.
But it was a mess because I literally didn't know what I was doing. Like I wasn't even coming in knowing about NFTs. I was just like, oh, I can put my art on here like this. Let's do it.
I feel like you can be like, oh, I screwed this up. Let me just go back and edit. It's like, nope, can't do that.
Nope. I was just having at it kind of, but those first few things were pretty funny. And just going back to the whole MetaForce infrastructure, like as an artist, it's amazing to be able to focus on art, and not have to mess up all those things myself.
It's definitely a really big machine to get it all done.
In my experience, it doesn't get much less stressful either to mint. The minting process is always just like a high stress moment where it's like, okay, like I know everything looks right, but still hitting that mint button or like create template, signing that transaction. I'm still like, oh God,
I still have that moment more than you would think. Blockchain in general. Like, I'm going to hit this button, huh?
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit of fear until that first pack gets open and it doesn't get screwed up. And then you're like, okay, I think we're good. But no matter how many times we double, triple, quadruple check, there's just that little piece of you that's like, okay, I guess Jesus take the wheel.
That's my personality. I'll share something here that makes no sense. When I jump into water, whatever it may be, while I'm in the air, I will check my pockets one last time. Like I can do something about it at that point as I'm flying towards the water. But it's still an autopilot that happens.
Where's my phone?
Like, am I going to take it out and throw it?
Did that happen to you once where you jumped into water with a phone, or is it just the fear that it could happen?
Yeah, it's just kind of ingrained, but it's fine. I'll go off a diving board and give the old thigh pat. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Why am I doing
it? If you did find out your phone was in your pocket, it's too late to fix it.
Yeah. Yes,
it'd be a great personalized prank to like reverse pickpocket you before you get on the diving board and just like stick something in your pocket.
So for some reason those things are stuck in there. So pushing those meaningful transactions gives me a little pucker.
I think it's also like, I mean, no matter what, I've done this stuff for years and years and years. It's still like my butthole gets a little tight whenever I send something from a wallet and it doesn't arrive immediately in the next like destination.
Yeah.
It never will not be intense. Like
that's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean that one now on Wax at least. I'm
Wax
probably
is so
too comfortable on Wax. I'm just sending stuff around because I'm so used to it, and the addresses are easy to remember, and it all happens instantly, so you know if you're screwed right away. So it's gotten real comfortable. But yeah, as soon as you're on another chain and you've got like a more complicated address, and then the chain doesn't resolve right away, and I'm terrified of like name service ones because only certain tokens can go through name service ones, and on Wax that's all like built into the account. You can check that it's part of the core blockchain, but on other chains it's
much more complicated. I also just stay away from that on other chains. It has to be like part of the protocol at a base level for me to be interested. That's Wax has that pretty much nothing else as far as I see. Well, I guess EOS you could do that, but EOS IO chains have that. But I'm also more like confident in my like understanding of exploits and stuff outside of EOS. Like there's things that I think are possible like exploit vectors in EOS, and they're just not. That's not how EOS works, and it's like I tend to think of it in terms of like smart chain stuff like Ethereum, where it's like, oh, on Ethereum this could compromise you, but on EOS apparently not. And
well, like, the core security and permissions is just so different that it's amazing. I'm working with a couple different collections that work on other chains, and I'm having discussions with them, and they're like, well, you got to watch out for this, and I'm like, no, not on Wax. Well, you got to do this. No, that's not an issue. Well, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yep, you absolutely can do those things. And then they're like, well, what do you do? And then I explain everything, and their face just melts, and they're like, how the hell can you do that? And I'm like, man, the protocol is built specifically to do these things, whereas on these other chains, they're built to do something different, and then people are also doing NFTs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the front-end tools are pretty sophisticated. If you think about all the things that you can do with Nifty Blocks or Atomic Hub, like minting tools, it's pretty complex stuff that is packaged in a way that's pretty approachable. And there's even guardrails built into some of these marketplaces that if you have an extra space or it's not enough characters in the wallet, it won't let you send it. Right. So it is nice to see some of the front-end stuff kind of make it more approachable. So it makes you a little safer from the permanence of the blockchain.
I mean, and literally we have one person to thank for that, which is Jonah, because the Atomic Assets protocol, he was building that for his own NFT gaming platform that he was going to use. And so he put all the thought into, well, how am I going to be able to use this? What am I going to want to do in the future? Well, how am I going to do this? What am I going to... And he built something that was really, really great. That was just going to be his project. And then everybody was like, this works. This is what the default, asset for the default standard for NFTs is going to be on Wax. And, I've talked to him about this longer ago, and he was kind of like, what happened? Okay, I guess I invented a standard.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, he was trying to like Atomic Hub was like supposed to be the marketplace for his own like game that he was trying to come out with, and now it's like, oh well, now it's just the like default marketplace on this Wax blockchain, which is like remarkable. I think they also kind of like saw that and were able to shift like focus to like, well, let's cultivate this versus like try to launch a game, which is like again a testament to his like I feel like his understanding of what he's created and the utility behind it that can go. It's like, oh well, sure, you could have just created your own game and had Atomic Hub be like the game's marketplace, but seeing the value you're building for the entire ecosystem and then pivoting into like fostering that was like, damn, that guy's got a lot of foresight.
You could have just hoarded it if you wanted to.
I gotta dive out, unfortunately, gentlemen. You guys can definitely keep going, but I gotta do something with my wife here on a timeline. I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, joining us. We're wrapping up here anyway.
I think it also.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we'll see you, Mars.
All right. Good talking to you guys. Good time.
Right. Go root for your Mavericks. Go Luka.
See you.
I think it also definitely speaks to his mindset that, like, as soon as it started getting traction and everything, he's like, okay, well, this is going to be what everybody's going to use. Let's be open with it. Let's show everybody how to use it. Let's open up the APIs. And he was very accommodating to the community very early on.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think there's a few things that, like, when I've talked with like other marketplace creators that are still like behind, I guess not a like, I guess behind like a wall of like that can't be done with the atomic standard. Like you couldn't directly buy NFTs in a different currency, for example. Like that was like, oh, it has to be wax. So then you have a like harder time, for example, like for Nefty blocks being like, oh, why can't we do Nefty token on the secondary market? And when I asked Juan that, he's just like, oh, well, that has to do directly with the atomic standard. Like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Which was like, yeah. Which,
well,
so that is interesting too, I think. And
yeah. And a lot of that, like the drops, you know, they can set it up that way on the drops, but when you want to use it, you know, I want to list it for USD, but obviously the settlement's in wax. That requires an oracle. Well, that oracle's not set up anywhere for, you know, Trillium to USD to like, it's just not there. And so you know, then you get into, you know, Nefty Blocks was very smart about it, but basically they just had to build this crazy deep liquidity pool where it can just do swaps as it needs to settle things.
Yeah, and it's remarkably deep now. I feel like that's the deepest liquidity pool on the wax tokens. It's like it was outpacing TLM last time I looked. Like there's like almost 2 million wax like bilaterally in that pool, which is like, damn.
They also just added you can do blends with FTs now. Like if you have a fungible token supported by Nefty, you can now use that as a blend ingredient, and you can do combinations. So you could be like, you have to blend this NFT plus this FT, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, that's actually out now. I remember them talking about that. So that's
I did ask in their chat about that because I checked the like requirements to add your FT, and literally none of the added FTs meet those requirements. Where it's like, oh, you have to have $2,500 in liquidity depth of your token against wax, and $2,500 of your token against Nefty. Not one of the tokens that I saw on that platform has that depth of liquidity. Not even in one of the two pairs, and definitely none of them have it in both of those pairs, which says is the requirement for new collectors or new collections to add, which is like, I don't know. The question is more or less like, will you either hold the existing people like to maintaining this, or, you know, would new people basically have to like be set to an unequitable standard for adding their stuff versus existing tokens that already exist? And I mean, I don't know. I just started that question. Didn't really like. It's not. Yeah, it's not like they were like, here's the full like scope of how we will deal with this. But my whole take was like, I don't think it makes sense to require a collection to add the collection's token and wax as a pair at all. They should require the collection to do the token Nefty and then the equivalent $2,500 that you're asking for token wax in Nefty wax, so that the Nefty pool has the liquidity depth. And anytime you want to trade token into wax, the route would have to be token Nefty wax. And then all of the tokens you add to the Nefty Blocks platform will benefit the Nefty wax ecosystem. Whereas if you just have a straight Nefty wax pool, you circumvent the entire Nefty token. Or if you have a token wax pool directly. But I don't know. We'll see what they're really good about listening to feedback and
and like, I think with a lot of stuff with them, it's just a matter of building it and getting through through the process, because they're not. I mean, they're probably not looking to build their own automatic market maker for all of these.
And that was like the last thing I said at the end of that whole thing. I was just like, yeah, but all of this assumes that there's a functional automated market maker that actually routes the traffic. So that's not the case on Alcor, and clearly that's probably why this is asking for what they're asking for.
Yeah, and Box is a good alternative, but it's not getting as much traction, I think, as they had hoped it would.
I'm a little disappointed in them like pulling incentives from pools like like the Tether
USDT.
pool or something. Yeah, it's like if you're trying to actually build an infrastructure like a DEX infrastructure, why would you not incentivize USDT token or USDC or something? Why is it always?
They're
It
trying to
feels like
capture
always,
trade volume. They're not as
that's what it
interested in
feels
like building a functional DeFi on Wax, I think, as they are just like. I mean, they
Yeah.
basically add every community, get them to move the liquidity over, and then just take the incentives away so they can try to get like all the pools over on their thing, which it's a good strategy for getting the
Solid
liquidity
strategy,
over,
yeah.
but it seems like they're less interested in long-term building like functional pools. But I still like DeFi Box, and I use it whenever it makes sense. Like I check between Alcor and DeFi Box, whatever has the best, less slippage. That's what I use.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, once Taco Swap comes out, it's gonna really, I think, affect both of them, but maybe more Box.
Yeah, I think Taco Swap has a
Taco's
more
built
like
the user base.
they have a bigger market share of users already, so it's like that makes it.
I also think
I agree with that too.
all competition is good. Like Nefty
Definitely.
Blocks made Atomic Up step their game up like super, and I think
For
like
sure.
the more marketplaces and the more dexes that launch, it's just going to make the other ones have to get their shit together if they want to succeed. So I welcome all the competition. I don't think it's ever bad to like, oh, there's a new competitor popping up.
I'm very very hopeful with Taco Swap, and I've definitely been in their ear about, we need some kind of stable coin, whether it's USDT or you're going to make your own stable coin or whatever. Like it's got to be there. Now I don't know if my words are going to have any traction, but I'm asking.
Yeah, at least somebody's like asking, because I agree. Like for any like DEX environment to be reasonably stable in the assets that trade on it, it has to have exposure to deep liquidity general market assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC is my favorite of those stable coins, DAI, USDT. Like you got to add those and have significant liquidity in them for the rest of the ecosystem not to just fluctuate insanely like volatilely. Which, I don't know. It's Wax doesn't strike me as like the DeFi chain, like that's the other part of it. Is it's like even when DeFi Box was incentivizing USDC Wax pair, it's like, well, yeah, but Polygon or like I like Harmony or like all these other like layer 2 chains too, like where there's insanely deep liquidity and like huge yield incentives. Like you're really competing at like across the entire crypto ecosystem, not just in the Wax space. And there's some serious opportunity there.
I think one of the things that that hopefully the Wax developers catch on with is like having creators having the ability to easily move into and out of an on-chain stablecoin on the chain. Will protect
like a native
creators.
Yes.
Right? Because right now, if they want to hedge or they want to whatever, they're sending off to a centralized exchange and trying to trade it to something else, and they're taking all of that action off the chain. And in a lot of times they're taking it right out of crypto, whereas as a creator, I can take my drop and say, hey, I've got this drop, I'm gonna I've got liquidity enough on chain that I can keep it in my team wallet, just flip it over to a stable coin, and then have stability so that when we have a market drop like the one we just had, it doesn't hurt teams as badly. You obviously have to keep a significant amount of liquidity in actual Wax for doing all of your stuff that you have to do as a creator on chain, but having the ability to swap it over to a stable coin on chain is really good, especially for some of the smaller creators that maybe don't have the means and methods to fiat in and out, or depending on what their situation is or where they're incorporated or whatever.
I do think the Wax team, like we've heard rumblings, like they're trying to turn Wax into an ERC20 token as well. So like, and instead of paying Ethereum rewards for the Wax Ether / Ether pool, they would pay you directly in Ethereum based Wax. So they don't have to like sell off the Wax into Ether every time. And they're also talking about launching their own centralized exchange for a fiat on-ramp into Wax. and I'm hoping that maybe can bring some stable coins onto Wax more with more liquidity, but it's kind of unclear how that'll work. But I do think they're kind of heading in the direction of like trying to make DeFi and just like onboarding to Wax easier, because it is pretty hard for some people to even buy Wax with fiat. Like it's not that easy to get for everyone. So
Yeah.
I do think they have that like that focus, but it's like we'll see how the implementation is. It's still too early to really know.
Yeah, I know Taco is planning to do a direct to Wax fiat on ramp too.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
Everything I've seen from Taco is always just like, yeah, they're really like pushing what they are building and like trying to like build all this utility around it that isn't just a game, but also like becomes this like DeFi platform as well.
Yeah,
so I like to see that. I feel like, I mean, what is it? As much shit as I'd like deservedly would talk about our planet, I do really like their like DeFi aspects to their like economy. It's really cool. Like the whole, I'm not a fan of like claim limits, but I do really like the like voting stuff is cool. The like RDAO like token. My biggest issue with them is that they're probably going to change the way all that stuff works on a whim.
Right.
And
yeah. Well, and the thing that also doesn't make sense to me is like, okay, we've made an RDAO token, and then the thing that is most important to vote upon, we're not going to use our DAO token.
That was a bizarre.
That was,
and I'm also selling my RDAO for Aether right now, and I know in like 2 months they're going to be like, okay, now Aether doesn't vote for anything. You're going to have to get RDAO again. I'm just going to be like,
yeah, I'm expecting them to announce like we're going to start shifting voting for collections to RDAO, which is going to be like, fuck you. Like that's such a fucked up way
before we get too salty, I think we should start to wrap this up. Gonna raid into
on our plan.
Yeah, that was a great lead in. Fuck you. All right, time to close.
If we get started, it'll go for another 30 minutes. But thanks so much for joining us, Recourier. It was good to hear all the updates. I'd kind of fallen behind on like the CMX and how all that stuff works, but it's really cool, and I'm definitely gonna have to start. I have a bunch of the promo stickers, so I'm gonna have to start blending into CMX.
Yeah, I also got dropped a few CMX in my wallet. I have like at least 3 of the 1 CMX tokens, so I can try getting into some.
Go collect them up and get ready for variants, so you can go get your neon covers.
Yeah, I'm into that for sure.
And that blend, we're only opening as many available as there are a percentage of the packs sold. So you're not like the whole amount isn't going to be open. So let's say something like 30% of our packs are sold, only 30% of the blends are going to be opened up, which means there's going to be very few of the, legendary of that 20. We're going to open up. Like
I just hit the aftermarket and bought 2 more of the legendary issue ones for these blends. So I'm ready. Trying to get my legendary
neon variants.
Get the blend going. Plus there was 2 of them like, I think they were going for, I spent 111 wax. Like, oh, hell yeah. That's
easy. Yeah, that's super cheap.
Easy decision. It's only 100 of those anyway. And then they're going to start burning them to like blend into alts. Like, yeah, those are definitely my bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the people that are paying attention will do well.
Yeah, no doubt. I also really like, like Mark was saying earlier, like collectible NFTs, low mint structure is super important. So like this is definitely going to lower some of the mint counts of the existing collection, which is I really like that. So
yeah, well that's why like we have our commons, we have a lot out there just so a lot of people can experience it, and that wasn't by accident. Like we didn't want to make that something that people couldn't get a hold of, but yeah, we brought down the numbers significantly on the higher rarities.
Yeah. Did I understand correctly? I know just the last thing here, but I'm not trying to keep going. But there's coming a time where the pack opening of those will end and you won't be able to open packs anymore. And it'll be like, what's out there is out there and everything's retired. Or did I misunderstand?
That was our Series 1 collectibles, and that time has passed.
Oh, shit.
So the Series 1 packs can't be opened anymore, but we had like astronomically high opening. We had like 97% of packs opened or something. And
I mean, any packs I had were I was collecting the pack. So
so now whatever packs are left, which are very, very few because we were forcing the opening hand, they're quite rare now. And then there's no more champion blending anymore. So whatever champions are on the market are on the market. And then whatever oversupply of the ingredients for the champions, we're going to open up a blend to bring all of the oversupplies down to their initial intended amount. so that we'll have consistency in the amount of the alters and the citizens out there, so it'll match counts with the Fed.
Oh, I see.
So there's this giant structure. I'm like that, the meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Charlie with all the strings and everything.
Pepe Sylvia.
Pepe Sylvia. Yeah. Hello, Carol. There is no Carol in HR.
So yeah, that's me with this collection. I've got like all these angles figured out. And it's the hardest time explaining them all to people.
Yeah, it's also something that I think will become much more clear as like those metrics become used, and then like the burns start happening, the mints start dropping, and it starts being more clear that like, okay, I think the average user or the average like member of the community might like catch up and understand a little bit more that way.
Yeah,
as it happens, rather than like trying to explain it to them and understand like a strange concept.
And when people are coming back looking for these things when they're watching their first MetaForce movie, you guys will be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it definitely like helps paying attention to all this stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to play us off with a buy in the dip. This is not financial advice. And then we will raid into Left House and the NFT Action News. But thanks for joining us, everybody. It was a fun, informative stream. And we're streaming again tomorrow at noon with the moon mining team. I know almost nothing about that game, so we'll find out tomorrow.
If you also don't know anything about it, tune in.
Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay.
I love this.
I am with you.
Every time.
With you. Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you. Here we go. Come on, push it. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Here we go. Come on, push it. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Here we go. Come on, push it. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Here we go. Come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
First of all this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. GameStop was short. You can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of a stock, crush these companies into the dirt, thousands of stocks into the dirt. Then when the individual makes money, everyone's entrepreneurs. I have a kid who bought a house, paid $50,000 and bought a house. After decades of the shorts, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, push it, push it, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, buy the dip, buy the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
There's a lot of power in organization online. 2 million people can get together in a subreddit. I think it's really funny that the GameStop stock is going up and just affects the market in that way. There's 20,000 people live in a Discord who are spamming rocket emojis, yelling, "Go to the moon."
Those are my people.
Yeah, we like the stock. We like the stock. We like the stock.